BOCI TV, and we are now in session with BOCI Weave Your Own Web, Pinterest is Contagious, and Why. All right, does anyone have any particular questions before we start right here in the audience? Gina?
I was wondering if there's a place where it tells what our homework is from the previous session.
It's in the videos. That's why I put it. That's why I did that, because I want you to watch your video. I want you to be interactive. And if you were here, you took notes. If you were not here, then you will need to watch the video to find out what your homework assignments were. Okay? Any further questions? All right, let's get right into the meat. Let me ask you a question, and this is also for our virtual audience. You can answer these questions either through our Ustream channel where it's streaming live. Go to businessovercoffee.com and click on the right-hand Ustream icon, which should be green if we are live, red if we are not, if it's on demand. And you can also go to Twitter at BOCoffee and answer these questions. How many of you have a Pinterest account now? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that 1 or 2? 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we have 10. Good. How many of you do not have a Pinterest account? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I can take care of sending the invites to them.
Okay, that's great. That's great. All right, so I just wanted to take a poll. So let me ask this question. Why did you choose to set up a Pinterest account? Someone that has one, tell me. Gina.
I was looking for another platform because what I do, greeting cards are very visual, and I was looking for something that I could use that would help me show what send out cards my partnership company has and what they can do. I also wanted to make use of Pinterest to eventually it evolved into this, so this is more recent, to for my blogging, using it to put my blogs out there. I make sure that I have a picture available for each blog, so that again it's getting the visual aspect, because I know and I understand from things that I read that people are more visual than they are anything.
Yes.
So that's why Pinterest is one of my preferred social platforms.
Yes, we are a sight and sound generation. So it's very important that anytime you do blog that you add a photo. And that was a very good point you made, Gina, that when you blog then you pin it to Pinterest. Now, where does that lead the person back to when they click on that photo? Where does it lead them?
It should lead them back to your blog.
It should lead them to your blog or your website, whatever you have it linked to, okay? Now, the photo needs to be very good. The resolution needs to be high, as we've talked about with each one of our social media platform trainings. The resolution of your photo is extremely important. You do not want to put a photo out that people are not attracted to. If it's blurry and it's not quite, it's just something that you snapped, and be creative with your photos. There's many ways you can do that. I do not have my phone here with me, but of course Instagram is outstanding, has filters. You can use that. Pro photos are obviously the top preference. Then using Instagram would be another quick way to do things. We use that a lot for instant photo uploads here. There are also Insta repost, where you can go and you can repost photos to various platforms that other people have posted that you find of interest. Because remember, you're not always promoting your business. You are sometimes promoting educational information from a blog you read on HBR, right? Harvard Business Review or something like that. You provide education so that people start putting your face with education. Now, what is your product? What is your product? It's something to help you with obesity, right? To reduce obesity. So, yes, you want to provide educational blogs about that. You can write them yourself. You can do that on our website, or you can do it on your website. I do definitely encourage everyone to have a blog of their own. If you need a starting place, VOCI is a great place on your profile. Always post a picture there. Then you can take that and you can put it over on Pinterest. So we're going to get into all of that, and it will lead them back to you. But do not just have them going back to you, because then people get tired of seeing you. They would like to see Mike Esposito every now and then, or they would like to see Mark Zuckerberg every now and then, or somebody other than you, but you are bringing them education, okay? So very important. Now, how does Pinterest tie into that? First, I go to a guide for using Pinterest for business, and I just wanted to show you this. It's up here on the screen. For those of you watching virtually, I will verbally go through this. And there are a few things here that say what to pin. Images of your product are very important. Melinda, you have great images, high resolution images that should be posted out there about once a week, with maybe a different saying or a different blurb underneath it, something that's going to catch the eye, okay? Photos of your workplace, culture, and employees. So if you're looking for someone to come in and take professional photos of, if you have a brick and mortar, or of yourself, or of your product, or of an event, or of your office. Caroline, where are you? Caroline has stepped out of the building. Caroline is a great event photographer. She is going to college, so she'll only be around for another couple of weeks. So if you want her, get her now, because her price is right as well. There is also another photographer that I highly recommend, and that is charlisharenata.com. That's R-E-N-A-T-A. R-E-N-A-T-A, Charlisha, C-H-A-R-L-I-S-H-A, Renata.com. You can go to businessovercoffee.com, slide down to the lower right-hand corner, and she does have her logo there. She is one of our advertisers. Click on it, will take you to her website. But these are really important aspects. Now, let's say that you don't have the funds to put behind that. Then use Instagram. There's other sources on your smartphone. How many of you have a smartphone? Okay, if you do not, you need to work toward that, because we have moved it from dumb to smart. and so there are, I need my phone for just a moment so I can talk about a few of those apps that are outstanding. There's Insta Retro, which I absolutely love, and it also adds a lot of filters, which give you different backgrounds, different looks as to what you are portraying. The color can be changed. It's very unique. Then there are other apps. InstaQuote. I love InstaQuote, because when you go to InstaQuote, it actually gives you quotes from Winston Churchill, just various people. You can refresh, and it will bring you up. It will bring up a new quote. However, you can also put your own quotes on there with your name. And that way, and you can even put, if you're on Twitter or something like that, you can put @VOCoffee or @Delmar Johnson, or you can put your web address at the bottom, something that's going to lead them to you. So these are important tools to be able to use. Another good app is Instacard. And that gives you a card frame where you can insert a couple different photos. Then there's TextCutie, which I absolutely love. Again, that's TextCutie. That's C-U-T-I-E, all one word. TextCutie allows you to actually use your finger and sign your name to the photo. You can also put quotes over the top of your picture and things like that. So it really allows you to personalize, and I will show you some of those if we get time as to how those look and so forth. But those are just some freebies that I'm giving you as to how to do it yourself. Now, I would say if you're going to do that, you definitely need to have a good smartphone. Make sure your camera is good. Obviously, the iPhone 5 has a great camera. I have the Galaxy S3. And the 4 is out now, so I need to do an upgrade. But anyway, those two have the best cameras. Now, if you need to go less than that, just make sure that you're asking them, the people that you go to, ask them what the highest quality camera is that you can get for the budget that you're buying with, okay? And make sure that you can actually apply apps too, that it's a smartphone. All right, so now let's talk about infographics. That's exactly what we're looking at right now, is an infographic. Infographics are excellent, and you can create infographics by Googling infographic. There are many, many platforms that will allow you to go in and either pay someone to make an infographic for you. What is an infographic? Can anyone tell me?
There are those really cool, long pictures, and there's actually statistics saying that a long picture is really great for getting more attention. But in the info will be some statistic type information. They put it in picture form so people will be more interested in reading about it.
Exactly, because a lot of people are analytical. A lot of people are driven by numbers. So infographic gives you percentages. It gives you topics and it gives you numbers a lot of times. So what I'm doing, and this is for the beginner right here, because most of you probably know this. But let's say you're looking for this. Well, she said something about infographics. How do I find that? Okay, I'm going to Google, and I'm going to put in infographics on Pinterest. Okay, so if I wanted to see an infographic on Pinterest, I just click right here, and it tells me, I mean, there are hundreds. One is Pinterest the next social commerce game changer? Pin it, win it. You know, a lot of people are doing that for their businesses, by the way. Pin it to win it. And if you pin so many, then you win something. And that's good for Dazzle in Germantown. That's one of our clients. One of our members, actually. I encourage you to go there, by the way. And Dazzle does the pin it to win it. So it's really retail stores do that a lot. Or if you're selling services, you could actually have someone win a 15-minute consultation with you about their business. Things like that. And so those are ideas. Here's one of the pins that it's a long pin, right? See how long that is? That's what Gina was just referring to. This is very, very long. Okay, now I'm also going to go over here to Google. Infographics maker, infographics template, infographics software. There's many different platforms that you can use. So let's look at infographics template and see what comes up. 25 beautiful free PSD infographic templates. This is how we find things, okay? Just because it's there doesn't mean it's great. A computer is only as smart as its user, so be very careful. If you're ever concerned about a link, then what I suggest you do is copy the link and put it in right here in the top URL section right here. If it's on your email, if it's on your Facebook, and you're concerned that that link is spam or it's someone that is trying to tap into your account, put it up in the URL and it will tell you if it is an actual link, if it's reliable, and so forth. So that is very important.
I have something to say about that. I use a couple of different apps that you add onto your browsers. One of them is called Web Trust. So it gives me a little green circle when the website is a good website, or it gives me a red circle when it's a bad website. That's just one of them. There's several of them out there.
Absolutely. And the one we just went to, it just didn't feel right to me. It wanted us to download something You don't know what is downloading to your computer. So be very, very careful. But Infographics toolbox on Google, now that sounds really good. Delmar, do you have any insight on infographics and how to build infographics as far as various platforms that can be used for that?
Actually, I don't. I've never actually tried to even do one before.
Okay, here's an infographics toolbox, and it says by Google, and use this template is right here, so I'm going to click on that, and okay, we just learned something about Google. Remember our Google session, those of you that were here? Okay, there's a lot of apps on Google, and one of them is an infographics toolbox, so go there and practice, all right? Bring back an infographic. That's part of your homework. Bring back an infographic next month on the second week
When you say
for
bring
Pinterest.
back,
I
you're
want you to
saying-
pin it, but I want
Pin it,
you to
okay.
pin it so we can see it. Okay? All right. So now, in order to use that, you more than likely will need a Gmail account. So that's important. But we're going back to Pinterest. There's also people that you can pay to do the infographics for you. So all of that is out there. You just have to be careful as to who you are linking up with, and if once we find someone that really gets it down, like when Delmar starts doing it really well, then we will refer you to those people if you're needing an infographic made, okay? All right, so now we're going to Pinterest. That's just some of the things that Pinterest for Your Business talks about what to pin. Just a few more things is blog posts and resources. And that's something we already covered. Videos, excellent. Videos are very good to post. So you want to do that. Customer testimonials, there you go, there's another one. You can save those, save a customer testimonial as a JPEG, which means it's saved as a photo, and then upload it to your Pinterest account, okay? It can be just a very short quote. It can be a blurb from your blog, a blurb from your book. It can be, many things that you can just turn into a JPEG and upload. This particular research that we're looking at, which comes from, and if I click on it, it will take me to the website, and then Syncor. Syncor is where this research came from. syncortech.com. When to pin. They say to pin between 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
How do you spell Syncor?
Okay, that is SYNECORE. And it is a marketing technology for growth company. And as you see, how did we find them? We found them through Pinterest, and we found them because their infographic was fabulous out of all the infographics I looked at this morning. Okay, so that tells you the power of an infographic. Also, it says another good time to pin is between 1 a.m. to 8 p.m. Okay, wait a minute. That does not make sense. Somebody help me read this infographic.
On Thursday, it's 2 to 4, and on Saturdays, it's 1 a.m. to 8 p.m. Because you have Thursday and Saturday written there. and
It
two
says
charts.
Thursday and Saturday, and
That's what I can think of.
yeah, I think, yes, I believe you're right. Okay, so it says on Thursdays 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., on Saturday 1 a.m. to 8 p.m.
I think it's from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Saturday nights.
I would have to agree.
Okay.
It should be 8
Yeah.
p.m. to 1
Yeah,
a.m.
because
That makes sense.
because of the way it's shaded.
Or it
Yeah.
could be, yeah.
Okay, let's take a vote. What do you guys think the infographic means?
I think it's 8 to 1, 8 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
That makes sense.
all right, so it's telling us that Thursdays and Saturdays are the best time to pin. And I have also heard that from other clients that I work with that really use Pinterest a lot for their product. And we have a lot of product related versus service related individuals in here today. and that Saturdays is a fabulous day for posting on Pinterest and also on Facebook. Okay, then it talks about pin your own unique images. Use, and we talked about that a moment ago, keywords, use target keywords in file names and individual pin descriptions. So in other words, if you are repinning something, then you may want to change the description and put what you think about that repin, and we're going to get into that. Okay, pay attention to image size, and it gives you various ways to do that. And then it talks about the quality of the photo, which we talked about. All right, so now we are actually going to go to our Pinterest account so that we can walk through this, okay? Any questions at this point?
I have a comment.
Yes.
So you were talking about the picture size thing, and often when I'm trying to find a picture, what I'll do is I'll get on Google and I'll do the image thing, and there's a little drop-down area beside it that says that you can look like in advanced options or something to that effect. And in there you can choose the size of the image you're looking for. So I always go to it and say, I want a large image so I can get that detail in that image.
Sure. Good input. Thank you. All right, so we are looking right now, and if you're over here and you can't see, you might want to move your chair so that you can see a little better. For those of you who are watching virtually, go to Pinterest and go to @BO_Coffee or Business Over Coffee. Either one should bring us up. We are listed as a business. I converted us to a business today. I had it under my name, and I have boards. I have a board for Business Over Coffee International. I have other boards. But I decided I wanted to convert to a business, and it was very, very easy. Why did I decide that? Because I wanted to be able to tell you all how to do it if you wanted to do it. And so it actually tells you convert. And you just click on convert, and it's about a 30-second process, and then it's converted to a business name, okay? I'm not telling you that you need to be a business name. I think that is really your preference when it comes to Pinterest. I use Pinterest for one thing, and this is for me personally. With Business Over Coffee, I have a board. So when I want to focus on the business, I post to that board. When I want to focus on fashion that I really like, then I post to fashion board. So let's talk about the boards and how those work. Right now we're looking at the home page. What this is, these are the people I'm following. Just like on Facebook you have a home feed and so forth, that's exactly the same over here on Pinterest. It tells me that I have 7 new pins, which means that 7 of the people that I'm following have posted pins. All right, so let's see. If I scroll down through here, okay, this says every day may not be good, but there is something good in every day. So I like it, so I'm going to press the love button, which means I like it. All right, now I'm going to pin it, and I have several boards. So this one says books worth reading. Is this a book? No. So I'm going to do a drop down, and this shows me all the boards that I have. I have Business Over Coffee International, I have fashion, I have film and music, I have home and office, I have introspective, Jules Party, kids, make my day, people I admire, social media, and things for my wall. And so I'm going to introspective. And I have over here 2 little boxes. One is Facebook and one is Twitter, which means that you can integrate your Pinterest with your Facebook and your Twitter. You do not have to, depending on what profession you are in. Go into your back settings, which we'll look at in a moment, and integrate so that if you want to share it over to your page, you click on those. If you do not, then you unclick those, okay? Well, I do want to share it. And right here in the description, it already says every day. So I'm going to put my own description. I'm going to put today is a good day. Okay, and I'm going to pin. Okay, so I repinned that. That was not my pin. That was a repin from one of the individuals I was following. Okay, now, any questions at this point? All right, so to save yourself time, sometimes you will want to repin other people's product. Okay, now,
Sherry, that really goes beyond going directly to Pinterest and repinning and onto different boards. This is kind of connecting with your social media platforms, right?
it's both. It pinned to your board, and it also pinned to Facebook and Twitter the way I did it just then. Okay? All right, so right here, if I click on this segment over here, I see that Brenda Green and Melinda Reed just started following us. Everybody welcome the virtual audience. Also, Jackie Yoakley started following our board, our Business Over Coffee International board. And so that tells us what's going on, who's looking at us, and so forth. Now, if I click on this right here, which is right here at the top, it will say the name of your business or your name. Okay, do you see where my cursor is? If you click on it, it's going to say your boards, your pins, your likes, find friends, help center, settings, or log out. So let's go to boards first. So I'm going to click on boards. Now what this does is it's showing me my home page. This is how your home page should look. You should have more than one board, okay? If you're going to use a platform, then use it correctly. I suggest that in order to humanize yourself, let's just take Chartwell Financial. I don't know if you're allowed to use Pinterest, but I'm going to use you as an example, okay? And all you had on there was one board about Chartwell Financial. Do you think anybody would really be interested in following you all the time? Maybe a certain element of people, a handful. But if you have 6 boards, and you have one that's Chartwell Financial, and you have one that's introspective thoughts, okay, I'm just throwing things out, and you have one that is education for your finances, which would be other blogs and so forth, and then you have one that is home and office, furniture pieces that you see that you want to repin, that you really like. Okay, so what you've done is you've got your feelers out. I suggest having at least 6 boards, because you want to pull from people that have different interests than what your interests are, so that they will then take note of the thing that you really are promoting. It's called backdoor marketing. That's what I call it, okay? So I've got right here the Business Over Coffee International board, but then I have the social media board. A lot of people follow this board. So I'm going to go into it and show you a couple things. Right here, oh, here's another app, okay? Insta Cartoon. I love it. Insta Cartoon. All right, so if you look here, this particular pin is an Insta Cartoon, and Delmar gets tickled at me because when I'm putting all this out on social media, she knows that I'm educating myself. And so I put it out there because I'm learning how to use it so I can teach you. This was just a regular photo, and then there are certain filters that you can use. And so what I put on here was Insta Cartoon to enhance photos. So you can make it look like this particular one looks like it's a sketch, right? Other ones look like cartoon characters. And so these are really neat things to do. And so I'm going to go back. And right here, this is a great example of Delmar Johnson's, over here, conference coming up, which is Living in the Now. And so when she posted this, I pinned it to our social media board because social media will be discussed at that particular event. And Then we have right here the power of Pinterest, just a lot of educational things, and that is attached to a blog. We have the 10 Commandments of Networking by Kelly Price. That was only a PDF. That's all that was. So that shows you various things that you can pin to your boards. All right, now I'm going back. We have things for my wall. Now what this is, also, Delmar, I have you over there too. Don't you feel special? And I have 6 pins to that. So it's just various things that I found interesting that I put on my wall. Then I have books worth reading. I have Shelley Bauer's book on here. Sometimes I will put my blog in there. Today I wrote the blog, Build Your Platform for More Than One. I put it in my books worth reading pin. I also transferred it over to Facebook and Twitter with one click, and guess what? Now it's hit 3 different platforms, so every follower I have on every platform now can see that and go read the blog. All right? So do you understand the backdoor marketing aspect? Let's stop for any questions you have right now.
You have something on Twitter, trying to answer it, but on the verification I got it right. So Get Real Fashion was asking, where is the Infographics toolbox on Google? What's the URL? I just told them to open the Google search and type in Infographics toolbox, and then it pulled it up for me.
Absolutely. And they could even put on Google, Google Infographics Toolbox,
Okay.
and that would get them there. Okay, so books worth reading is really, I like that because, and that's another example of a Chartwell Financial or even Jackie, you're rebranding yourself. Same brand, but you're in transition. Books worth reading. People love books, so you put books out there, it leads them to you, then they can read about you as well. So then we go to people I admire, and of course I've got my daughter there, but I also have Lady Diana, because when I was a kid I used to follow her and all that, so it's just, it shows people a little bit about yourself. And you want people to know you as a person, not just as a business trying to peddle something to them. Okay, you get that? All right. So then I have over here home and office, and these are our boards that I created because I can show different parts of my personality. I can also show things that I think would be great for an office. It may or may not appeal to someone else's personality. But how many of you in here can tell me that you like maybe modern sometimes, maybe eclectic sometimes, and maybe country sometimes, and you have a variety of things that you like within your personality? How many of you? Okay, so what this does, this is contagious because Pinterest pulls all those pieces of who you are as a person and ties it to your business, which humanizes your business. Now people are attracted to you and build an online relationship with you through your interests. Okay? Then they start looking at what it is that you do, what it is that you offer. Wow, this person seems interesting. Oh, I like what they pin. Oh, I'm going to repin that. So what it breaks down to is Pinterest is contagious, and why? Because of social media intelligence. It's all in how we use the platform. We must be intellectual about the way we use social media. So if we are constantly in their face about what we're doing, yes, advertise what you're doing, very important, but also salt and pepper it with all different types of things, okay? So now, another one that I have is fashion. Of course, this is going to appeal to most women. So it's very interesting to see the people that start following because of different boards that are pinned too. Kids, how many people love to see cute pictures of kids? I mean, who doesn't, right? So this picture right here just absolutely caught my eye. And, oh, where'd it go? Well, this one too, or I wouldn't have it on there. Isn't that just adorable? Okay, and so if that picture right there, let's say that you pin one like that, if that picture is attached on the URL to your website, of course you need to own the picture, all right, that's important, then it's going to lead them to you, all right? So those are ways that you can also lead them to your website or to your blog and so forth. And that's one of the points we mentioned about photos on your blog. Okay, let's get out of the kids' pictures. Most of the time, people are going to pin from their smartphones. Okay? Or they're going to pin from an option to pin on a blog, meaning the share button. Everybody say share button.
Share button.
If you are sending out a newsletter, constant contact, whatever it is that you use, or if you are sending out smore.com, which is great, one of the digital flyers you can use, it's a free platform, fabulous. Any of these platforms, you should have an option as to whether to include a share button or not. What is a share button? Can someone tell me?
It allows you to share to different platforms in a matter of seconds by clicking it, to go to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Pinterest.
Okay, what Delmar just said is absolutely correct. Without the share button, you're losing so much momentum that you could be gaining, okay? Because the share button is one click of a button, and that's the first thing I look for. When I see something that is educational or something I like or a photo or whatever, I look for that share button so that I can share it over to Facebook, over to LinkedIn, over to Pinterest, over to Twitter. And it gives me all these options, and we went through this in one of our sessions. And so you share it within 30 seconds, you've shared it to all these platforms. So make sure that you have a share button. Of course, I know this is not on Pinterest, but on your blogs, make sure you have a share button, and it should include Pinterest. Very important. Okay? Now, make my day. That's just my generic place, because if it's food or something like that, I don't have a food board. A lot of people do. Sarah does with her patty cake bakery. But so if I see something that looks yummy, then I just put it over on I repin it to, those are repins that I put on Make My Day most of the time. Film and music, the Titanic. How many of you knew that I would like the Titanic? You know, I'm just a romantic, I'm sorry. Okay, and then Jules' party is someone who asked me to include their board, which is something that you can do. And it's jewelry. And I love jewelry. However, I will continue to watch this to see if they're pinning things I really like. If they are, I will keep them on. If they're not, I will remove them. That's the great thing about social media, is that you have control over what you do. However, once you write something, what is it written in?
In the cloud.
Ink, pen, not pencil. That this is what you guys are. Written in stone is what is the normal colloquialism that's used. What I teach is that social media intelligence is anything you write on there is written in ink. It cannot be erased. It will always be there. It will be in cyberspace. So make sure that you understand you are not writing in pencil. So if you've misspelled a word, go back and correct it and make it, learn to laugh at yourself. Those are things that we're going to do. But as far as using verbiage that would you really want your mother to read this? Or would you really want your boss to read this? Those are important things to think about before you post, as well as photos. All right, so now I'm going back up here and I'm going to click. Oh, first let me show you that right here it shows what we do. It also shows the address to our office. It has a link to our website. This is on our home page, or on our profile page for Pinterest. It also has Twitter and Facebook to where they can get to us on either one of those, which is very important that you have that on your Pinterest. Over here it says Get Started. So if you click there, it's going to take you through the prompts of how to set up boards. Right here it also says Create Board. So if I click on there, I can create a board. Do you see it right here? go to your home page. There should be a create board right there if you have a Pinterest. So whatever how many of you have been thinking about what your interests are that you do not have a board for right now? Anyone? Okay, tell me what one of those is that you are going to set up.
Well, I think a lot of what we do is inspirational type stuff. I mean,
Okay.
like you said, the testimonies and things that really inspire people to succeed in things. So
Yes.
that's one thing that I don't have yet that I really need out there.
Great. So an inspirational board. I love that. Okay. And with that, you can also attach podcasts, things like that are inspirational. So there's things that you can research and you can find to post to that as well that will add value to your board as long as it speaks the value that you portray. Okay. Any other boards that have come to mind that you want to create?
Somebody suggested this to me. I've neglected my Pinterest very badly. So I really need to catch it up. But I was talking to someone here last week, and I was telling her my idea of what I want my book cover to look like for the book that I'm writing.
Yes.
And she was saying find pictures that inspire me about where the direction of my thought is going, and put it on as a Pinterest, as pinups for Pinterest. I didn't think about that. I thought, oh, okay.
That's a great idea.
That is a great idea, but I have neglected because I have my own challenges with Pinterest about, first of all, how to pin my pics. If I take a pic that I want pinned.
I'm going to show that to you. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So what we just heard is excellent. It talks about, let's say you're writing a book like Delmar, and then you go through and you see photos that speak to you, okay? And then it really tells the person that's trying to create a book cover for you what your interests are. Now, it goes beyond that. Again, we call it social media intelligence. Everybody say social media intelligence.
We need it today.
Okay, all right. So social media intelligence, meaning that we should be able to look at boards and be able to tell something about that person or that business. So that's why it's so important that you know the person that's pinning for you. Because what people see on this board or on your Facebook or on your LinkedIn or on your Twitter is what they are going to associate your business with. Whether or not it's your personal board or not. You are your business. You are the face of your business. So extremely important. All right, so now let's go right here. We just looked at boards. Now we're going to go to your pins. So these are pins that either I uploaded or I repinned. This morning, I added a Business Over Coffee pin right here that is a Pinterest pin that leads people to our Pinterest page. I also added this one, this particular, I want to show you this because this particular pin I uploaded. And this was done on Text Cutie. Remember I told you about the app, Text Cutie? And it had this photo. If you see down here on the right-hand corner, you see my handwriting. That was done with my finger right on my smartphone, okay? And it says, taste the sweetness of life by giving and receiving smiles and hugs freely. Sherry Henley. You can do this too. Go create your own quote. Put your name on there. Sign your name, personalize it. It is a really neat thing to do. Okay, I'm going back. We're looking at things that I have pinned. I also pinned The Go-Giver, Bob Berg. I put that under books to read. If you haven't read it, read it. I know I was in a meeting with Anna the other day, and I said, read the book, The Go-Giver. Also, Charlicia Renata Photography that we talked about a moment ago. Storytellers, great event and filmmaker and photographer as well. One of the people that interviewed on BOCI Talk Radio yesterday is an author. Earn What You're Worth, a good girl's guide for asking for more. So these are pins that we added. Then on InstaQuote, let me show you what that looks like. Another app. This is a quote that I put out not too long ago. To land an opportunity, you must fly first. Sherry Henley. Okay, so let me go back. And show you how to pin. Do you see this plus sign right here? Beside your name at the top, there's a plus sign. If you click on it, it says upload a pin, add a pin from your website, or create a board. So you can do a create a board from there as well. So I'm going to go to add from a website, then we'll do the upload a pin. And it would be an HTTP, okay? So http:// and let's just go to delmarjohnson.com. And let's see what images pop up. And it's going to say find images. There's no pinnable images on there. Okay, somebody give me a website. One of your websites.
American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network. That's what I've been trying to load up.
American Cancer
Society Cancer Action Network.org.
That's all one URL?
That's long.
ACSCAN.org.
ACSCAN.org. Thank you.
That's short enough. That's short enough. I don't think it would have been that long.
Okay, it brought up images. Okay, one of the things, Delmar, I think, talk with your webmaster and make sure they have tagged your photos. Because I know you have photos on your site, so yours should be coming up. One of the things is, who do you advocate for? Join hundreds of fellow volunteers to show what the fight against cancer really looks like. I like that. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to pin it. So I clicked pin, and I am now going to see what board. You guys help me with what board. Books Worth Reading, Business Over Coffee International, Fashion, Film and Music, Home and Office, Jules Party, Kids, Make My Day, People I Admire, Social Media, Things for My Wall.
Make a new one.
Yeah, I'd say make a new one, help and along.
Oh, I like that.
Well, it's about advocacy. I have an advocacy or charity
Advocacy,
one.
yeah, nonprofits, advocacy.
Yeah, I think I'd do it under advocacy, nonprofit.
I like charity. So I'm creating right here. I wrote at the top charity, and I'm clicking on create. Now, I'm going to add a description. Contact Y Woods Harris for information at, where do they need to go?
Wise Joyful Company.
Is that your website?
That's
Facebook?
My Facebook ways.
Information on Facebook at Y Joyful Company. And I just pinned it.
So that's what I got.
Okay, and what it did is it brought up something for a great cause, which has a lot of charitable pins on it that I could have followed at that time. So it gives me an option to follow various things. Any questions on that?
I'm gonna go back to the video.
Okay.
Amen, sister.
All right, so there's the plus sign again next to your name on the right-hand side. Most of the time on these platforms, I would say 99.9% of the platforms, you're going to find your name in the upper right-hand corner, including Business Over Coffee International. That's how you get to your profile on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Pinterest, on BOCI. Okay, so that's important to remember. Here's your plus sign. Now, Delmar had a question, and those of you watching virtually may as well, and others in the room. Upload a pin. How do I do that? It's as simple as choosing a photo from your computer. So you choose from a file. So you need to save it to your computer. All right, and then I'm just going to scroll down through here and see what I would like to pin. How about this one? This is a quote. So it's going to be introspective. I'm going to put it on Facebook and Twitter. And I'm going to say start with the first step. And then I'll tell you what I just posted. And I'm going to pin it. I want to see it now. It gave me an option to see it. It also gives me an option to edit the pin that I posted for the advocacy. For some reason, it doesn't look like it posted. I'm going to repin. I'm going to undo Twitter and undo Facebook for this one so that it doesn't pin twice over there. Okay, I'm going to click out of that. And here's what I just posted. It says share with the first step, build one brick at a time, lead with a team, monetize from within, gain wisdom from loss, lose prideful demeanor with gain, finish to begin. And that is a quote of mine. All right, so if I wanted to send this, there is a send button, and I can put an email address in there. Okay, and it will actually send it to someone. All right, there's also a quote right there where I can add a message to my email. Remember, social media intelligence is about following the prompts. You click on it, you figure out what it's about. This right here is where if I wanted to specifically put it on Twitter or Facebook, I could do that one at a time. And it will need to be in my settings, which we'll get to. And the embed code, if I click on that, it actually gives me an embed.
Can you define that?
Yes. So here's my embed code. An embed code is what you would use. I would take that and I would copy and paste it over to my HTML on my website. So this is for webmasters and people that understand how to use HTML on your website. Anyone that does that? Okay. Make sure if you're going to embed something that you either own it or you have permission to use it. Okay? All right. So now, do you see up at the top here where it says join as a business? That's where when I went into embed, it takes me to the page that says join as a business, because it assumes the social media intellect that's in here in the computer assumes that since we're wanting to embed this, we must be a business. So would you like to change as to a business? So to join as a business, you would simply click on join as a business, and then it gives you all of these questions, which are very, very simple, and you agree to business terms, and then you click, and if you want to convert, you just click on this convert right here, and you go convert, and it will convert you to your business. Okay?
So if you've got a personal account
Yes, ma'am.
and you're in it and you want to convert it to, I'm a little confused, but a fan page, you've got a personal account, but then in Facebook you've got a fan page, but you'd really like Pinterest to be tied to your fan page business.
No, you would be changing your Pinterest to an actual business profile versus a personal profile. So you can do either, because you've got a board, or you should have a board for your business regardless. All right?
We have a question from the virtual audience. Carolyn Mendel said to at Bio Coffee, when you follow someone on Pinterest, what happens? Does it post on your board? Which board will it post?
Okay, we will be getting to that. Number one, when you follow someone, you will see what they post on your home page of Pinterest. okay? Not your profile page, but your home page. Remember the first page that we looked at when we started today? Does everybody remember that? How do we get there? Click on home feed. I went over here and I clicked right here next to search, and I'm going to do home feed. Okay, it's got me in a different thing. I'm sorry. Let me get out of the business and get back to the profile. Okay, it just took me to Business Over Coffee, and this is actually my home feed. Because you can see right here where I just pinned something. However, right here is s'mores cookie bars. And that was repinned by Sarah. And so since I'm following Sarah, I see what she pinned. Then we have, and if you're on your Pinterest, go ahead and pin. We'll go in here and look at it. Here's an infographic, it looks like, about exposure. Then we have storytellers, we just talked about them. And it is a blog about taking photos at night. 6 tips for taking photos at night. So we click on there, we can learn about that. So it's very interactive and it's contagious because it draws you in through your creative side, through your visual side, and then it adds education, and then it opens the door to your business for people to learn about you and your business. Is this making sense to anyone? All right? Give me a tip of what you've learned. Somebody.
I have a question because on my page it posted that advocacy piece that you did. It posted
Yes.
twice. Is that, when I'm looking at my page, I see that you're two.
Because I didn't think it pinned, so it must have the first time.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to make a comment that what I look at on my Pinterest home feed is going to look different than what her home feed is because
Yes.
I have different people
Exactly.
that I'm following. Now, some of it's the same. I have Sarah's where she repinned Oreo pudding cookies and some more cookies. And of course I have some, and I got some of stuff that Sherry, but I also follow some fashion bloggers. So if you scroll on down here, you can see I've got fashion bloggers and stuff like that I'm following also.
Right. So it's exactly in that aspect. It's going to be like the home page of LinkedIn, the home feed of Facebook. It's only the people that you are following or are your friends or are your connections, depends on what platform you're on, but that's what you're going to see, okay? Up here on the upper left-hand corner is the search bar. So somebody tell me a topic you'd like me to search. How are you? It's good to see you.
Wisdom?
Wisdom.
Maybe you need to do humor.
Yeah, wisdom not working.
We have no wisdom on Pinterest.
Ain't nobody on with any wisdom on Pinterest.
I say that to myself all the time.
Okay, it's searching.
I probably do a couple, 3, 4 every day. And then some days I might do more, some days I might miss one, and then, not do it at all. Just on my day. I like Pinterest, it's one of my hobbies. No, it's a hobby, so. No, if you're talking about posting your your business stuff.
And she has the stuff that.
You should be able to search pins there. For some reason, it maybe have something to do with my computer.
It just depends on what's going on, you know, it's like when I do a blog, I try to post it, and I try to
All right, I'm going out.
So like if I'm doing business, I'll try to post things that are business, if I'm under like doing fashion or doing cooking, something like that.
All right, we only have 33 more minutes. Yes, there is a server error, so.
Yeah, that's
Are we still live?
Certainly, Dave.
it says it's short.
Again, you know, I don't like, it's one of those that, like I said.
Yeah, that, it got.
It's always going to say, on Twitter, and if I could send it to them, then I would send it to them. In other words, I automatically posting it out to other platforms at the same time I'm doing it. And I try to do that with a lot of what I do, and otherwise, you're right. So much content, you know.
Okay, we have a server error. Has everyone else lost internet, or is it just Pinterest?
I can't get it.
Still recording.
Can't
Yeah, I was
get
about to say, we're still live, so I think it's just,
Well,
yep, it's
while
just
we're
Pinterest.
waiting,
It's just
I had
Pinterest.
another comment. We were talking about the infographics earlier and creating them.
Yes.
And somewhere, and I can't remember who introduced me to this website, but there's a website called Fiverr. That's Fiverr. And I did a Google on the website, and they'll create an infographic for you for $5.
Oh, that's excellent.
And they rate, and they get rated so you know whether they're a good person to do business with.
Okay, it's the Pinterest server that has gone down. I'm trying it again, it's not working. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go over, and I've never had that happen. Has anyone ever had that happen on Pinterest?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, one of the things that I want to do is show you some of the graphic examples of what you can do with your smartphone to upload onto Pinterest. Okay, this one right here was done on TextQt as well. Your online image will make or break you. And I put @Sherry Henley, which is a great example for you in getting someone to, not just putting your name, but putting your handle for Twitter or for Facebook or whatever it is, so that they know, even though it's linked to that, they still know that that's you. And if they share it, then those individuals know it's you as well. So it's duplicating yourself. Very important. Okay, and let me know, Gino, if you would keep checking on Pinterest, that would be great. Let me know when we're back up. I'm looking for actual. Okay, this is the card, the Insta card, where you can take, for instance, take your weekend that you've spent with your family. From time to time, if you want to take a picture of your dog or your cat or something you've done that's really neat at home, do that. Just make sure it looks decent. And the way you do that is, you know, Instagram is fabulous as far as the filters, unless you are a professional photographer. So you can take those Instagram photos and actually put those into the Insta card and make your own cards and so forth. And these are templates that are already there. You do not need to create them. So it's a really neat app. These are things you can pin to Pinterest. Has anybody tried Photofunia yet? Photofunia.com. That's another great source. Photofunia, Funia. If you see right here, this is a billboard. This is me. No, I'm not on a billboard. It takes about 60 seconds to do this, and they have a lot of templates, and it is free. All of these things I'm telling you about are free.
Is it FOTO or PHT?
It's photo, like PH. This right here was just a normal picture of my daughter. She ran up to the car as I was seeing her off to school, and I rolled down my window, and she leaned in, and I kissed her, and there's lipstick was on her cheek. And so I took the photo, and I just ran it through Instagram, and I used the filter that, I used a different filter that brought out a lot of blues, and then I did the focus where it will actually blur, and you can focus right on the face. Now, Caroline can tell us about that because she's a pro photographer. These are things she does all the time. So this is really unique for someone that's not a pro photographer, that you can do this within about 10 seconds and then upload it to your social media feeds. You can then pin that, and you can put a phrase or something and then tie it to your website, so people go to your website. Oh, that's so cute. And they click on it, and then you lead them to a blog about sharing love with kindness, or whatever it may be. Okay? It doesn't always have to do with your business. Again, it's social media what?
Intelligence.
Intelligence. All right, can we get into Pinterest?
No.
Okay, well, why don't we do this then? We covered a lot. The only thing that we really didn't get to are the settings. And settings are extremely important, because in the settings, you will go into whether or not you want to integrate your Facebook, integrate your Twitter. So you will set all of that up. You will also let the platform know if you would like for your Pinterest to be private or public, how much access the public has. Obviously, if you are working on building relationships online and you are working to sell a product through backdoor marketing, then you definitely do not want to be on what I call lockdown or social media prison. You want to protect yourself, but you also want to be available. So there is a fine line there, and that is up to you how you set that. But one of the most important things that I say in every training that I have is that your settings are the most important aspect of any profile that you have, because that is where you decide who sees you. And Mike Esposito can tell you. He even told me, you need to take this or this off, and I went in and listened to what he was saying, because there are certain things such as your birth date and things like that that's probably not good to have as visual. Okay, so you can usually make those to where they are not visual. A lot of platforms require you to enter your birth date, so that is a must if you're going to be on that platform, but then you set it to private, that particular information. Okay? All right, and Mike, would you tell us why? Tell us the reason for that.
For having personal information?
For not having your birth date on
Right,
a profile.
and you have to realize that social media goes worldwide, and certainly with identity theft, there's always that concern. The social media platform that you're looking at, you have to look at its benefit, and is there more benefit of having that information, or potentially more detriment? So certainly on LinkedIn, you want to not use the area called personal information, which identifies your birth date and marital status. We keep asking LinkedIn to take that off, because there's really no benefit of having that information. If you want to have a birthday on any social media, I tell people, come up with an internet birthday and be consistent. So pick a date that you wish you were born, and put that date, be consistent on internet, so when people send you happy birthday messages, you know where that message came from. So that's what I do. Because some websites or some different platforms require a birth date of some sort.
Right.
So come up with a birth date, log it, keep it mental that that's my internet birth date, and then when you get all these messages on that day, you say, okay, that came from the internet, and you respond accordingly.
Right, and you can also, most of the time on those platforms, you can go in and make that information private as well, but you have to do that with intention. You have to go into your settings and see how your settings are set up. Okay, so what we're going to do, since our server's down, and that's probably good, because we need to talk about homework from the the last event as well as homework for this event. So for next month, when you come back on the second Thursday, I would like you to come back with your Pinterest profile completed, linked to your Facebook and Twitter if you have those and if you're using those for business. Also, have 6 boards set up and have 1 infographic completed and pinned.
So we're supposed to create an infographic, is what you're saying?
Right.
And the best site, I'm sorry, say that again, where do we get, what's the best site to do that?
I would Google Infographic toolbox, which is on Google.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. And that will be the homework
So we
for
can add to our
today.
ones we already have. If we have
Absolutely.
5, then we just need 1 more.
Exactly. If you already have that many boards or more, that's fine. Just make sure you go in, you check your settings, that everything is set up the way that it should be set up based on what we've looked at today. Add anything like inspirational board would be great. Anything that you see that maybe you should add to humanize yourself more. In addition to uploading some of your own information, not just repinning all the time. Okay? All right, so what we're going to do before we go into the homework section of the Google Plus questions, I would like to take any questions, comments, suggestions of today and Pinterest and what I can help you with on that.
How do you add, what was my question? How do you add the pin it to your URL or your,
To your website, how do you embed it?
yeah.
You remember when I went into, and I can't get there now to show you, but when I actually went into a particular picture and it had an embed option, you click on that, and when you do, what it does is it actually asks you if you want to set up as a business. And then it gives you the option to embed a pin. They're on the left-hand side. It gives you options to embed the actual logo, the pin logo, pin it logo. So I did that this morning on Business Over Coffee International.
So I got a comment there. If you're using a WordPress, you can go into the plugin area and just tell them that you're looking for a share.
Yes, on
And there'll be a
WordPress,
whole
yes.
bunch of different plugins.
Yeah, and I have that on my website. I was just thinking there was something that you could have in your URL at all times. Say, for instance, your home page is Google. At the top, is there just a pin it button?
Now, I have a bookmark on my browser window.
That's what I'm trying to call it.
Okay.
Bookmark on
Okay.
the browser.
It's
Thank
called
you.
Pin It.
Yeah.
That's the name of that.
Yeah, how do you do
Gotcha.
that? That was the question.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's the question.
I got it through the Pinterest website.
Okay.
Right. You should be able to search that out and find that. We have some virtual audience participation.
Someone was saying that they have people on their home feed that they've never even heard of. How does that happen? Or is that normal? I suggested to her that you have to manually select to see your followers or who you're
Right,
following.
exactly,
Or
because
you
you
see
can go
everybody.
into Pinterest, the actual Pinterest page, and that's going to show you a whole multitude of various topics and people that you can follow, and then you click on follow. If you are following people that you don't know, then you need to unfollow them if you don't want to follow them, and you would click unfollow, and there would be, it would actually say unfollow.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
in that particular case, probably what happened is when she signed up, Pinterest automatically populates your board from your email stuff. So that might be where she got the people that she doesn't know.
Right. I follow a lot of people I don't know because I like what they pin.
Yeah.
And that's how I get to know them as a business owner. So there is nothing wrong with following someone you don't know. That is a part of social media intellect, is if you can delete that person if there's a reason why you shouldn't follow them. But if you see someone, for instance, Mashable social media, of course I'm going to follow them. They give out great information.
They do.
So
Linebacker.
So, but the unfollow button works just as quickly as the follow button, okay? And the unfriend button works just as quickly as the friend button. So, all right, so we had opened up for questions. I was getting comments. Can I get questions that I can answer from the audience? Wow, I must have done a really good job of teaching.
Yeah, we're just,
Yeah.
wow. I think the homework.
Okay.
You answered several of my questions. I didn't even have to answer because when you went through, well, I did answer one about how do you actually pin from
Yes.
other websites and everything and
Right.
get pictures on there so you don't have to always be repinning somebody else's
Sure,
page. So
sure. You can also do that from your smartphone, the same way.
actually, how do you do that?
You need to download your Pinterest app,
Mhm.
which is free,
Yeah,
and then it will take you through the same prompts.
it does.
Mhm.
I have the app on my iPad. I just don't have it on my.
Okay. All right. So now let's talk about how many of you plan to attend next month for the Twitter? All right. Good. Good. So come back with your homework. Now let's open up for just a few minutes on the Google Plus homework that you had and give me a report as to where we are, starting with who wants to go first? Wow.
What are you wanting to know now?
Google Plus homework.
Me and Beverly did it.
Okay, all right, then Gina, you go for it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I actually wasn't here last time, so I had to really kind of wing it here. Because I also couldn't get the video up and running. She said it got up and running, but by the time she got it up and running, I was already done, so. I went through and I made sure, I actually have both a personal and a business one, so I did both of them. And, but they basically in the, once I went into my profile and went to my about section, I basically put the same thing in both of them. I put a little information about what my business was and what I did. I made sure I had a cover photo. I made sure I had a photo of myself. And then basically I took the information that I already created both on Facebook and LinkedIn and I populated whatever was available to do in Google+.
Exactly, so you followed all the prompts and you made sure your profile was complete. That's very important. Now, you are familiar with the Google Hangout aspect. And did you get a chance to operate that and use any of the new apps that we had talked about with Google?
Well, I, again, didn't see the video, so I was not aware of that part of it. I have used Google Apps several times, used Screen Share, and have actually downloaded some additional apps to use in Google Hangout.
Okay, one of the things, if you haven't, how many of you went back and watched the video? Nobody. Okay. All right, this is really important. If you are going to get your certification, you must complete your homework, which means that you will need to watch the video and you will need to get your homework done. And so how do you do that? How do you get to the video? Most of the time it's going to be right here at the Ustream icon, right here. However, we had an issue with the internet last time, so we took it and we corrected the issues and we re-uploaded it. So you can also go here most of the time, but I'm going down to the bottom and I'm going to view all under videos so that I can find it. And it's featured, so it's going to be under the featured videos. Right here are featured videos. I'm going to click view all again. I'm on businessovercoffee.com. Okay.
You scroll to the bottom.
Very bottom, and there's a view all. And it is about under featured videos, it's probably about number 10 down, I mean, maybe number 15. But it's me sitting there, you can see the screen, so that's what it's going to look like. And it says on-demand Google Plus training on BOCI, Weave Your Own Web. That's what you need to watch. It's only had 14 views, so we need a lot more people doing your homework. Look, where's my paddle?
Especially now in the Google Plus, because I wrote mine down. I usually keep it on my iPad. The homework you gave us was I had already done.
Yes,
Like,
okay.
I was already on Google Plus and had server. I'm already signed up to Paperly.
That's great.
I've already, got connections or recommendations on LinkedIn. So
Then
my
you've done
homework
your
was done prior to homework. The only
That's
thing
fine.
that I have not done on a regular basis, but I have already tried it, was the recommend.ly. That's the only one that I need to catch
Yes,
up on.
and what that is, for those of you who do not know, recommend.ly is a great Facebook app. Outstanding. Okay, I know Gina's been using it, I use it, it's free, and it actually gives you a cue to go in and put things in that will automatically post to your Facebook page, along with birthday congratulatory photos. So it's very neat.
They also added
I
the
did that. I
event
forgot I
stuff.
did it.
They also added the event stuff. I like that a lot too.
Yes,
Like it's
exactly.
National Cat Day today.
Yes, yes,
Recommend.ly.
Yeah, it's a very, very neat platform. Okay, or application, I should say. All right, so that's how, and look over here, this is what I added this morning. Y'all see that pennant? See that?
Where you pointing at?
Right here.
Oh, okay.
Pennant.
Oh, yeah.
It's on our site. You can put it on yours too. But Pennant is not working because Pinterest is not working. So, okay. So there you go. That's what you need to do for your homework aspect of last month. Very important, because at the end of November's our last one, right? Or is it October?
It's October.
October?
No, what?
Wait, October? We have September and October. Okay. So November, we'll take a month to actually review the homework, because we are going to be looking at your homework and making sure it's done before we give certifications out, because we're not going to give those out unless they're earned, because it's our name. It's BOCI. So it's very, very important. And what are we certifying you for? We are saying that you have attended basic social media training, that you have a basic knowledge of these, I believe it's 6 platforms that we have covered. It does not mean that you are a social media trainer. Now, we do plan to, in the future, offer an additional certification to where you can become a social media trainer, but it would be much more in-depth, and you would need to have gone through this first before you could graduate to going to something like that. So before the end of the year, more than likely, it will be the very last event of the year, which is our big shebang that we have, that we will give all of you your certificates of completion and your certifications for your social media training, those of you that have completed that. If you have any questions about what that means and you're new and you have no idea what I'm talking about, then see Sarah or Gina or Y, and they can all explain to you exactly what we're talking about here. Okay, yes?
I know you said the homework of setting up Pinterest boards. Now, those of us who already have done that, what was additional to those who've already got boards and been on
Infographics. Yes, and so did we have any more activity on virtual?
No, I talked to Carolyn and cleared up some of the things she does. I have a
Great.
testimonial about the homework, the Google Hangouts. I don't know if you guys know, my boyfriend's deployed, he's in the Air Force, and we couldn't get in touch with each other through Skype, so I taught him how to use Google Plus and Google Hangout. And we had like the funnest time playing with all the apps that are on there, like the silly hats and the faces and screen shares. So it was really nice, and I was glad that I just happened to learn all that. So.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Caroline. That's great.
Now, Sherry, Shandon asked a question. If he goes back and looks at all of the videos and does the homework, then he can be certified.
Well, we are doing that case-by-case basis, but seeing that you are a brand new professional member, and if you continue to come to each one of these, we have 2 more. Yes, 2 more. And you complete your homework on the past ones, then I would say yes, that you will have met the qualifications.
And you're more than welcome to call me and ask for help, because I'm already helping a couple people in here.
Right. Another way to find the videos, because remember, we have Facebook for your business. We have, what was the other one? LinkedIn. Okay. And then we have Google Plus, and now we have Pinterest. I showed you one way. I also showed you the Ustream way. Also, you can go to YouTube. Go to youtube.com, Business Over Coffee TV. No dots. youtube.com, Business Over Coffee TV. And there you will also find the videos. And so that's 4 videos that we have out to watch and complete your homework if you're in the building here and you would like to receive your certification. Okay, we will be working on an online certification at some point, but we're not quite there yet for the virtual audience unless it has been pre-approved. So if you are interested in more information on that, then contact us at connect@businessovercoffee.biz. We are wrapping up for today on this workshop. VOCI, Weave Your Own Web. Thank you for joining us on VOCI TV. We encourage you to set up your your complimentary profile on businessovercoffee.com. We want to see you there. Our business is your platform, and we are bringing everyone together with what? Connections, collaboration, exposure, and business. Thank you, and God bless you. Give it up.